folks. This is going to be one hell of a general's tent. I don't know, Gene. Are you familiar with James Martinez, the guy that specializes in AI, and he knows you, I believe. Are you familiar with him, James Martinez?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, I just had a very, very, I would say, disturbing podcast with him. Like we kept getting cut off. Like I'm a firm believer in this now. Like whoever's in control here does not want that guy's information to get out. I'm just going to say that right now. I tried over and over and over with him. Um, three, four, five podcasts, and we just couldn't get it right. Finally, I just had to let him talk, and he couldn't hear me. I mean, we just kept having interference after interference after interference. It was really bizarre, man. So I know this stuff is real because this guy's coming out speaking out against AI, the data centers,
Yeah.
the merging of humans and technology. I mean, this guy's all over it, right? So just want to say, like, I hope you all tune into this. I'm going to try to put it on YouTube, but it's definitely going on ninoscorner.tv. Very much worth all your time to listen to this guy. He's sounding the alarm bells like I've never heard before. Really, really crazy stuff, man. Um, Gene, I know, you're an expert in all this as well. I really respect your expertise, military code breaker, submarine code breaker. Really have your fingers on the pulse for kind of a different, you have a different point of view than a lot of other guests that I've brought on. Definitely kind of unconventional for a lot of people, but I try to bring all the pieces of the puzzle together for my audience to make up their own decisions or formulate their own opinions. So, Gene, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me here. It's always an honor, Nino.
So I guess we could start with, I did a video that it went viral on X. It got a million something views on the lake or the river drying up here in El Paso, the Rio Grande River. Basically, there's just no water in it, and I know that this stuff is seasonal sometimes for irrigation, but it's been like a year it hasn't had water. It's dry to the bone, and I know that these data centers are popping up everywhere, and allegedly they're using this the water, right? 75 million gallons of water. They're saying that's being taken from the Rio Grande allegedly to cool these systems off. But I live here, and the Rio Grande is parched dry. Like it's I've never seen it like this at this time of year. So I do see like a hostile takeover, like an assault happening on humanity, an environmental catastrophe forming right now with this AI stuff. I just wanted your opinion on that.
Okay, so the Rio Grande isn't entirely, maybe not even predominantly because of the data centers. The Colorado snow pack, well, not just Colorado, but the Rocky Mountain snowpack is zero, and we should be, massive up there. So there's no snowpack, and
But I mean, that could be some of it, right, Gene? I mean, but the
that's
thing
a
is,
lot of it. The
okay.
Colorado River, the Hoover has no water going over the dam. None. That's the first time ever. No, no, for a long time. That dropped below that possibility back in I believe, the 9th of April. But now it's way below the spillway even. So that's never happened before. And so that's catastrophic because if you talk about the farming for the 7 states that it provides water for, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, all of that, that's not going to happen because you
Mm.
need that water for irrigation. Besides the fact, Las Vegas is going to look rather different with no water.
I Lake Mead is empty, right? I mean, Lake Mead is completely bone dry as well, right? Isn't it like down like 50 something feet, something crazy?
Yes, it is crazy down. And they're freaking out because it's getting down to the point where some of the underground submarine tunnels that go into Lake Mead are going to be evident here pretty soon. So that's
Gene, that's pretty wild. I mean, is there submarine tunnels in Lake Tahoe as well? I mean, is there submarines in that lake as well? Because I've heard that body of water has all it's endless deep and has caverns as well. That's just a side question here.
yes, and also Crater Lake is the deepest lake, one of the deepest lakes in the world. and it has it's not big, but it has a submarine entrance, a submarine tunnel going into.
Do these submarines connect with all the lakes, and does it all feed back ultimately into the ocean? I mean, are these all these caverns basically mapped, and are they not only used by humans but also aliens or inner world type species? I mean, do they share these caverns with us?
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't know is the structure of the Earth. What most people know is total fiction. And what I put out, for a normie, sounds like totally insanity and fiction too. But it is how it is. First off, if you look at the aquifers, most people think that's like standing water under the ground. It's not standing water under the ground. Those are rivers flowing to the sea. So if you look below the major rivers like the Mississippi, the Missouri, the river that's flowing underneath them is often 10 times bigger. So if you say 10 times bigger than Mississippi, Missouri, well, that's combined then. That's now a singular river because it's so large it's going to merge. So you have a singular river and it goes way out past that. So you've got a huge section of the United States with a river flowing to sea. The Everglades, that is moving at 2.5 knots. That's a river moving at between 0.2 knots and 2.5 knots, depending on where you are in it, flowing to the Gulf of America and the Caribbean because it's that big. It's not just going into the Gulf, it's also going into the Caribbean. And then you have the Rio Grande. Well, it may be dry on top, but underneath there, a long ways down, a few thousand feet, you've got a river. And then way, way down beneath that, like 50,000 feet down, you've got an ocean underneath the crust of the world. And so that's why you have dumps at 10,000 feet down, and people are saying, well, based on what we're told, the magma of the mantle, it should be so hot you couldn't stand to be that. No, because you have that inland, not inland, the under, that ocean under there that's cooling it. So, and then beneath that, you have blue ice. So that even cools it more. And then you have a black rock like the pyramid that is in Mount Hayes that it contains the Golden Dome, the administrator, that AI, super advanced AI plasma quantum based system that was built by the Hyperboreans and ascended to eighth density. So what we're seeing with all of that is the water that is missing is because they did weather warfare. The deep state did weather warfare to collapse the U.S. economy of the farming and destroy the farmers because there's no snowpack. So that's what's really going on with that, and a little bit about the history and things. And on your question about the submarines, so they tap into that aquifer system. So they get in there, and those are huge rivers flowing under there, and they have to know how many knots and what direction and the currents and all of that to go through that. And they have high frequency sonars and different really, really low frequency sonars that map it all out. The high stuff is to do close in navigation so you can like read braille with it. That's how refined it gets you. For a visual, it actually gives you a visual image. So they navigate in close quarters with that, same as the Germans did for Base 211 in New Schwabenland in Antarctica to get into that. So those bases go, underwater facilities go all over the world, but the non-terrestrials don't use them. They use the stuff that's way deep. That's why I went and mentioned that, because it goes way, way, way deep down, and they use that down there. You have species that have been here for eons, and they have been down there for so long, and you have interdimensional species as well. And then you have species that are indigenous to the earth that people don't even know of. They've never even heard of. So like the deep state, one of the reasons they were unable to take the administrator in the Golden Dome in Mount Hayes, besides the fact that it wouldn't let them, is deep, 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 deep underneath there, miles down, is a civilization of giants that help to keep the peace of the American continent. They help keep.
Hold on, like underwater giants or like what? Like what the fuck? Like giants that just What do you mean? Like
Underground.
another dimension below ours is another earthly realm or air, mountain, sky. That is
Now,
that what? Or are they in like caves?
giant underground cavern civilization city of giants that are about 18 feet tall.
I've
And
heard this. I've heard this, so it's not a surprise to me. Does this go? Does this coincide with the Bible at all?
this part, no, these are not the giants in the Bible. So these giants, I mean, it mentions giants, but that's not these. So these giants, and they do have technology where they've created just like in different areas in other cities under the earth where they have the technology to make so that it's daylight without a sun. It'll be daylight for a certain amount of hours and then it'll be night. It's like if you go into inner earth buildings, inside them, there's no visible lighting, but it's light because they have the technology to essentially make the air glow itself.
That's that's not far fetched to me. I mean, I have a red light system in my room. I mean, I use that. That's like the sun to a degree. I'm sure their technology is far better than that.
Yeah,
So
they're eons ahead of us.
yeah. So let me ask you this, Gene, before I start taking questions from everybody. And once again, I thank you for being here. Um, Martin, I just did a podcast with Martin Armstrong. I suggest everyone to watch it. It's going to premiere at 6, so I'm going to try to get off here right at 6 so you guys can see that. Martin Armstrong is I believe, a currency specialist, AI programmer, and world government financial consultant that actually helped consult the Trump administration and Russia. And he would also help formulate the euro. He created the Russian peace deal. I mean, this guy has done a lot, and he's a financial consultant that actively works with the centralized bankers. Um, his data, and I've heard this from a lot of people that are just commenting on there as well. But his data has been pretty precise. Like he has a 95% rating on how over the target he is. He says after June, all the models are showing that we're heading into World War III. But the way he states it is brush fires. Like things are just going to start lighting up all over the planet. World War III type of atmosphere, country against country, NATO against Russia, that it's really going to pick up after June, like almost like this is cyclical. Um, and Trump is ready for this. And that's why Trump is getting ready to do something with a financial system pretty soon. Does any of this ring true with you or resonate with you?
There will be minor skirmishes, not World War III, but like you say,
He said he explained it as brush fires.
yeah,
And he
brush
said
fire.
China will probably take Taiwan.
China's in collapse.
Unless Trump made a deal with them this last time, right? I don't know.
He did. He made a huge deal with them, mutually assured economic destruction. So that's why they're getting their oil and LP and all that through the U.S. now, through Alaska, way closer for them, and also in the Gulf of America from Louisiana, Texas, and other areas in the U.S. So that's part of it for them not to get oil from Iran anymore or interfere with that at all. And then there will be highly likely a black swan event, though, where the U.S. possibly with Russia or China or somebody, but China, I don't know if China's going to last. They have huge rebellion going on, 10 provinces in revolt against the CCP, and they can't stop it. And additionally, they are having their deep state cleaned out. Xi is central casting, but cleaning out their deep state. So they have had millions of tribunals and executions, millions. And
Um, okay, so all right, so that I've heard that the same. So things are kind of adding up to me. What about Tulsi? So I've heard, Wano Savin has said that Tulsi Gabbard's getting ready to go nuclear. She's not leaving with a whimper. She's leaving with a bang this June, and basically kind of getting herself out of the way for the backlash, and I guess kind of a planned exit to deliver this will go military at some point, but this June and July will be nuclear is what I'm hearing. Are you hearing that, Gene?
Yeah, well, what happened with her husband, that rare bone cancer, was caused by a directed energy weapon.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so she is really, really, anybody would be that really cares about their spouse, she is irate, and
Wow.
she wants blood.
How do you prove that's from a direct energy weapon? How does she prove? How do
There's
you know
another
that?
person, I can't remember the person that died from the exact same bone disease, bone cancer. That was
Wow.
so, and it's so rare, but you have two cases in like 2 years. Yeah, it's really rare. And then there are people in the, that the deep state wants out of their way.
So I know that the National Prayer Day was May 17th. I knew things were going to start picking up after that. June, I'm hearing, is going to be pretty damn nuclear with Tulsi. She's going to basically expose all the cheating from 2020. I know that the Russia 2020, the Russia Gate stuff is also going to pop. What do we expect to see June, July, August going into midterms, Gene? How can you best explain what this climate is going to look like?
Well, one thing that is going to really blow up and has already started is Ukraine. Russia is done playing around because the Ukraine military attacked a girls' college dormitory and killed 31 girls
When was this?
2 days ago.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even see that.
3 days ago. Yeah, just a few days ago. And they have on their kill list the entire faculty for that college.
Wow.
Yep. So you can imagine in this country if such a thing happened. Like remember 911 and the people wanted blood and they said, okay, it is this guy over here, you know. I mean, it didn't matter who they said, the country, the country.
But
Yeah,
NATO's using Ukraine, right? It's kind of like they're using the Ukraine as the proxy, right?
yeah, but all of them are saying they can't come to the aid of Ukraine with more help at this time. And U.S. is promising they're going to send them Patriot systems and all that. And they've said, we're going to send you this much and this much. Yeah, well, that's fine. But where are you going to send them from? Because they don't exist. It's going to take a year or two to make them. They don't have a year or two. So in the last 48 hours, the Russians have launched series of Oreshniks on Kiev and taking
What
out
are Reshnex missiles, I guess.
Oreshniks are hypersonic missiles that have so much kinetic energy you don't even need a warhead, although they can carry nuclear.
Jeez.
There, it's the Oreshnik means it's some kind of tree that carries nuts that hang down in large bunches, and it breaks into multiple deliveries systems where they hit the ground with so much kinetic energy they can bust down into a bunker way deep. And so they are now having over 150,000 troops in Belarus getting ready to go back to Kiev like they did before. The mainstream, of course, said that they were beat back. They weren't beat back. They left because of the peace deal that Boris Johnson torpedoed. But at the same time, now Kiev is continuing to try to strike Moscow, and at the same time, it's done. And they also have thousands of Spetsnaz in Odessa. So the summer offensive starts. I don't think Ukraine will see the end, and it won't have Odessa and it won't have Kiev much left, if there's anything left. And they've already put out a notice, the Russian government, to any dignitaries of any foreign governments that are in Kiev to leave. If you are killed, you've been warned. Leave now. And a bunch of them are, all stoic, like saying, we're not leaving, we're not going anywhere in the EU. And Dmitriev said, I guess they have a lot of excess uh, ambassadors that they need pruning. So it's serious.
And one last question before I get to the audience, because there's a lot of people with their hands raised. When can we expect to go start hitting or strikes into Cuba?
It may not even be necessary. We probably will put boots on the ground, but it's also the people are ready to just end it. And Castro Jr. is already in lockdown.
Okay, because I know they threatened Gitmo, they threatened Key West.
Yep.
So I mean, I know that we have to get that neutralized before we start sending people to Gitmo, correct?
Yeah.
In
But at the same time, G was told not to interfere.
Okay, so that's another reason that big meeting happened in China.
Yep. Hands off this, hands off.
And
Hands.
okay, makes sense. All right, Gene, I'm going to get to the questions now. A lot of people have their hands up. Let's start with Tina Woods. Go ahead, Tina. Tina Woods. Tina Woods, that Idaho chick. All
Mhm.
right, going once, going twice, going three times. Lori Salone, go for it, Lori.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, Gene. And this may freak you out if it's true. If you think chips are bad, this is
If I
way
think
worse.
what's bad?
Chips. There is a US patent that has a 666 in it for neural smart dust
Oh
from
God.
DARPA.
Mhm.
Gene, do you know
Oh.
anything about this?
Yes. What do you want to know about it?
Well, from what it says, they just aerosolize this neural dust. You inhale it. It literally it's controlled by radio waves,
Hmm.
and it literally can control you.
That's been out already. It's already been done. It's already been in the chemtrails.
Oh, so
All
they're
right.
just waiting
That's
to
great.
activate it?
It's what the nanotech is that was in the 19 shop too. The
Right.
19 shop. And so that goes in. If you read Dr. Mahalsias' books, Transhuman 1 and 2, she shows pictures of the stuff, and it goes in into your body, and it self-assembles, and then it pulls the energy from your blood, and it clots all up, and
Oh, then when we can't win this.
and then
I
it
mean,
and then in the process, it builds construction zones, what they call people say are microplastics, which are long chain polymers that it uses for antenna. It builds
Yep.
chips and all kinds of stuff, and then it
Yep.
connects you to rebuilds your brain with a stand aside um, graphene system and your whole nervous system. It connects you to the cloud, and then they can make you kill yourself. They can make you. They record all your thoughts. It creates a virtual you in the cloud. Then they download and they can start listening. And like the targeted individual program, that was the beta test. That's it, and that's pretty much everybody.
does this go along with the data centers?
Yeah, because they need those. That's all part of the deep state operations. So that's, Elon Musk, his whole thing is that this is to get people to demand to get that gone. And then Elon Musk already has it ready to go be in on through Starlink, through the system, and a whole another series of satellites that give that in space you don't need water and you have all the energy you want. Solar is 24 hours all the time. So that would be the technique that it would be done, and then it would be automatically doing all of the things they need to do, but not what the deep state wants to do with it.
So then we're going to be able to prevent them from activating this.
It's
Supposedly we're going to
already
be like
activated
computers.
there. You're already uploaded.
Right. So how,
Everybody is uploaded unless I
right.
just did my protocols for this before coming up here into my computer room. So if you do the protocols, you can break it down. So that's
But you keep inhaling it. So how do you get rid of it?
you don't have to inhale it anymore. Well, unless you live out in the middle of nowhere, nobody is. Um, it's infested into everybody and into everything, and they shed when the dust in your house is your shedding of your skin, and that is in
Right.
right. So,
That's
and you breathe that in, and it's in plants, it's in animals, it's in everything.
so basically somebody just has to flip the switch, send out radio waves, and we're all basically slaves.
We already are clicked in. They don't have to flip the switch. They just look at your barcode and say, okay, we're going to activate you to go shoot up the White House, or we're going to activate you with all Mark Ultralight now. So, yeah.
Is
So
that how they're manipulating some of these people that are doing these heinous assassination attempts and
yes,
assassination?
yes,
Wow.
and
But I
that's
mean, is it like the weaker minded people? Does this work on everybody? Because I don't.
um,
Uh,
it depends on how well you know yourself, not whether you're weak or minded. It depends on how well do you know your own thoughts. What thoughts are yours? I've spent since 1976 weeding out what are my thoughts. Most people think that their thoughts are their thoughts. They're not. Majority of your thoughts for most of your life are not your own. You have a good
I've
ego.
always thought that.
Yeah, you have a good ego and a bad ego, and the bad ego is mostly demonics in there, going and say, "Oh, I don't like her because this and that." Yeah, and I don't like the way he looks, or the way he looked at me, or the way she talks, or I don't like the way she dresses. She's more beautiful than I am. Blah, 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 blah. You know, that's all this stuff. The way we are is compassionate and loving, but that isn't not being rising to the surface because of this other um, internal dialogue that's not us. So when you learn to become compassionate, kind, forgiving, that takes away its ability. And to get those thoughts, when they come into your head, learn to shut it down. And immediately you can reprogram yourself by having a
I'm
little.
just thinking, when Trump came into office, even before in 2016, there became this immediate divide. Are the people that are so demonically TDS, could this be affecting them
Of
to
course,
enhance it?
yes, because if you're TDS and you're upset and you're this, then it allows it to hack into you. If you're calm, compassionate, loving, understanding, it doesn't hack into you. It can't. But it functions off the frequency. You need a low frequency. If you're at a
Right.
low frequency where you're angry, upset, freaked out, that's why, just saying, like, I'm not freaked out about this stuff because I know once they're done, they can have the administrator eradicate that stuff worldwide in every plant, animal, water system, everything, air, you name it. It's gone. One pulse frequency, bam, it's gone. Everything is on frequency, and everything has a resonant frequency, including this stuff.
Correct.
They
That's
wipe it
correct.
out in the blink of an eye.
So you basically have to change your frequency.
It's changing your frequency. Exactly.
Well, we have to change our frequency to be able to avoid their frequency.
Exactly. Now you're understanding. And
Okay.
everybody on earth, because how many people got the jab? Everybody, everything, plus the chemtrails. I mean, even
Plus,
if,
plus, the transfer. Even if you didn't get it.
yeah. And then there's the Q-tip all the way up into your brain almost, and that was giving it to you too.
Yes, that's true. Okay, something else to think about.
Yep.
All right,
Thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
you, Lori.
They always talk about Dr. Mahalsia's protocols in the book of Transhuman 2. You can do them at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will be looking for that.
Yeah.
Thank
It's best
you.
if you're welcome. It's best if you find a center near you in a major city, that's somebody that does it, and you do the IV way because it's more powerful, quick, and easy. But, it really does work. I've seen the stuff from her, and a drop of your blood is just looks like looking down on Tokyo at night from a satellite. It's all these blinking lights. And
So what do you look for facilities that offer this?
you want to look at her protocols and find a facility that does all of the stuff that she does, which is the
What's her
private.
name again?
Dr. Anna, Anna, Mahalcia, Mihalcea. Her books are Transhuman 1 and 2. The back of Transhuman 2 are the protocols. If you go to my website or my Rumble,
right,
presentation that I did with her.
Okay, great.
All right, let's get to. Is that
you.
good, Lori?
Yes, thank you.
All right, let's get to Tina Woods. You want to try again?
Hey, sorry about that. I have a new phone and I don't know what I'm doing.
That's all right. That's the story of my life.
So, hi, Jean. Hello, Nino. Thank you very much for being here and having us here. This is about data centers. I saw something posted on X and I would like to read it and get your opinion.
Go ahead.
This was sent to someone. I have no idea who wrote this, but it says, I've worked on 2 data centers as a superintendent for installation of fiber optics, 6 buildings, each at least 1 million square feet on each side. or on each site. Sorry about that. I'm convinced they are prisons, not data centers, for various reasons. Those prisons aren't for us. They're for the influx of corrupt law enforcement, lawyers, judges, local government officials, etc., anyone who administered those vaccines. I don't think people realize just how many people that are complicit and are in a lot of trouble. The design prints of these centers and their isolation and plans for security once they're complete reminds me precisely of prisons under construction because I've worked on those too. Plus, we haven't pulled in anywhere close to the amount of fiber needed for any data center of that size. I hope this helps alleviate some worries that people are having. What do you think?
I hope that's true. I'll research and find out.
Yeah,
Well,
I hope that's true as well. Let's
Wow.
So, from my understanding of people that I've learned this from people that I follow, that we have 500 to 600,000 sealed indictments. And those aren't necessarily one
Over
person per
almost,
indictment.
let me interrupt you, almost a million. It's well over 700,000. Each indictment can have, and they're secret indictments too. So it's a million. And each
Yeah,
indictment can go to 99 people. So if you do the math, 99 times a million is 99 million. So that means we're talking 99 million people can be arrested and prosecuted and given tribunals and all of that. And
so
that
where,
is a low number of what needs to be done because I think it's 3 congressmen and maybe 2 senators are not dirty in the federal government. Most blue states, there's nothing in there that's not dirty. I mean, look at California, Colorado. I just listened to some stuff from Gavin Newsom and Jared Polis is like, oh, make me want to retch in my throat. And so you look, and then you look at your police forces, you look at the military. You have, besides that, you have a base being built that was part of Artemis on the back of the moon for non-terrestrials, because you just had a general, or excuse me, an admiral, 2 star, I think, that went on TV or did a video and being interviewed, and he had a mask on, and you could see that it was a mask, and a big, huge, gaping thing at the base of his neck. That was a non-terrestrial hybrid. You saw the picture of what was
was that the bald guy?
yeah.
yeah, saw
Yep.
that.
He's
God.
not human. He's a hybrid. It's much like he can shapeshift. The mask is just a reveal. That's comms. And so it's like the being that you saw I don't know if that was real, but I think it probably is, walking, that was about 12 feet tall and gray beside Trump in handcuffs. I think that's the same individual.
All right. Well,
That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
All right. Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Got
you.
it.
I will
Katie.
look into that and find out as rapidly as I can. That would
Yeah, well, because Tim, when you said those numbers that you said, my mind immediately is just going through like, where are we going to put all these people? Like, how are they going to run them through a system where they're held accountable? I mean, that's massive numbers of people.
I've also heard Walmarts are going to be used. Is that any truth in that, Gene?
Well, you've got a whole massive amount of FEMA camps they built, from decommissioned bases like where I went to boot camp in Florida, Orlando, bases all over in every single state that are different type of ABC, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, just do it by levels. Containment facilities, some of them, quite a few. The Walmarts too have crematoriums, and then had large amounts of coffins ready. And so in nearby, like in Colorado's case, in the border of Kansas, and just inside Kansas on farms where they rented the property, those are still sitting there. They had guillotines. So that's all ready, because their plan was to go on their dumbs and, nuke the earth and come back up, and whoever survived that they didn't like, they would do that. And then 15-minute cities for the 500 million or so that are left.
Peace. All right.
It's biblical. What they meant to harm us.
Oh, yes.
Flipped on them.
Yep.
I love it.
Tai Chi,
Okay,
go move.
All right, let's
love you
get to
guys.
Katie.
Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Katie. And also, if you look at Walmart, like if you just do the Marshall and then wall backwards is law, martial law. That'd be, I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought that was interesting. All right, go ahead, Katie.
Hi, Jean. Thank you for taking my question. You were talking about Antarctica and the beings down there and the animals or the all the different species, everything down there.
Mhm.
What does that mean? Like, what does that mean for like, are we ever going to be coexisting with what's underground? Are we like going to be living amongst them? Are they going to come up here? Like, and what's keeping them down there? Like,
You already are living amongst them.
but
You
will we know it? Like, will the public know it? Like, will you be walking down the street and there's a giant or there's a reptilian or you're working with them at work or
those kind of beings. Okay, the reptilian shapeshift, so you don't see them as, 12, 18 feet tall. But that ability will go away. But by the shift, most of them won't survive it. So it depends on when that is, because I don't know what year we're in. I know when the shift is. I don't know what the actual year we're in because they messed with it so many times, even they don't know anymore. So it could be quite a bit off. It's very unlikely it's almost impossible that it's really 2026. It's more likely somewhere 2018 all the way back to 2000 or something like that. So, so however, with disclosure, we will have a lot of beings eventually. It's not going to be real soon, but you will have beings much like in the Star Trek, where you see, and a lot of them you're not going to notice because Nordics a little taller, very, much like humans. Quite a few species fit right in. Of course, there's ones, mantids and things, don't fit in. And there's good mantids, a few. And then you have reptilians that are good ones. And then you have inner earth beings like the giants and those. And you have other ones that are many different types that are down there. And you have the reptilians that are indigenous to Earth, like the raptors, and they've actually been on tour. I know in the tour they did with an animatronic raptor that went through many museums, like the Denver Museum, and people were going to see it, and I'm like, when it came to the city I'm in, I'm like, you gonna go see it? No, I want to be near a raptor again. They go again, yeah. They look at you and you can hear their mind going, yum yum. But yeah, I'll at you because we have a truce, and we have to work with you, or our species won't survive. So because they think real loud and they're not on the human frequency, so I have to raise my frequency even higher to get off of their wavelength. But yes, that'll all come about. That's why disclosure is rolling out. First, will be the nothing burgers like you see now, and then bit by bit you'll see more and more real stuff until we actually will see the full out thing probably before Trump's done. And they'll come out. That's the only way you're going to get the med bed out, the medical bed technology. It's not going to be like a med bed, I don't think, in the sense you lay down in it. It's not that slow. You could probably just walk through a torsion field and stand in it for about a minute or two, and then you'd be regenerated. If you need to lay down, like you're a paraplegic, then in that case you'd lay down and be just a torsion field, and you're done in a matter of a few 2 to 5 minutes, and that's it. So that technology cannot come out until you have disclosure, because they're going to go, why didn't we get this, and how long have we had this? Da 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 da, and then plus you're going into what they want to do with the quantum system, which also needs disclosure, because they're going to go, how does this get all the servers and all the stuff for this on the back side of the moon? Right? And how is it getting the information here if it's on the back side of the moon? So you get all that stuff. People are gonna have to know how. And so in the meantime, you're gonna have to get rid of this deep state pretty much majority wise worldwide, because you can't have them having things like anti-gravity and in portal technology where you could literally portal a nuke into somebody's yard. Or
Oh my God.
to their living room, into a building, into the White House. Yeah, the ballroom's amazing, but it won't stand a portal. And that's part of why they have a portal generating technology in the basement. Because if they sense a portal coming in, they can redirect it.
That's insane.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of what we're in. That's what the Golden Dome is about. It's clearing out the dumps and it can redirect portals. And that's the beekeeper and all that stuff. A big, huge part of that was that the huge hub on Earth is the beehive state, which is right next door to Colorado, where the federal center is. So that's Utah. And so that's all underneath the Mormon temple and all that stuff and all of those dumbs in there. That's what that's all about. And so all of that connects directly to DC and directly to the ballroom.
Wow. All right. Is that good?
Yes. One more thing really quick, Gene, all these other species that are living underground and stuff, are they all aware of us? Have they always been aware of us and we just haven't been aware of them?
Yes.
Or
Well, for the average person, they haven't, but many, 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 the Native Americans have always been aware of them. You go talk to Navajo or Cheyenne or Cree or you pick a Native American group, they all know about them, including interdimensionals like the Yeti, what they call the Ebiche. They come in and they come into their ceremonies, and the medicine man, the shaman or the shaman woman meets them and all of that stuff. They've known about this all their time. And many of the ancient cultures knew about them too. So you look at what's in Egypt, beings with a bird head. Well, that's a partially shapeshift being. It doesn't really care. So, and you had all kinds of beings like that then. So it's just in recent times that this is since the reindustrialization, not the industrial revolution, the reindustrial revolution, in which they rebooted the technology of the earth and got rid of the older technology that was free energy, because they didn't want free energy, they want to meter it. And so it's just we're becoming aware of it again, including things that people like Kirsten said I was out of my mind. We're not going to talk about that. Is vampires. Well, vampires, you can go all over Europe and find graves with iron over them, with a stake right down through the middle of the iron into the heart of the whatever's in there. That's been there for ages. So it's just this has with the reindustrial age that we got dumbed down and we got snowed under all kinds of propaganda of what doesn't and does exist.
okay,
Sound good,
thank
Katie?
you.
All
Yeah,
right, so
thank you very
folks, I have a
much.
hard stop at 6. If Gene wants to stick around a while longer and take some more questions, that's completely up to him.
Yeah, I can do that. I could probably
Okay, so
20 or 30 minutes more for people here.
all right, so I'm going to stop recording on my end at 6. I'll put that up on ninoscorner.tv. But Gene, you just keep going as long as your heart desires, my friend.
Yeah, I'll gauge it by where I'm at with.
All right, and I don't know if you can see their hands raised. Can you, Gene, or no?
Yeah, that's the problem. If somebody could call out the hands, then I could.
So it's all right. So the next one's Lee, and then Wendy, and then it says user, but I know her name and I forgot it because I've been hitting the head so many times in my life. All right, so let's get to Lee.
So I remember you telling us the story about the glitch in the matrix that you experienced. And I actually had my own experience with a glitch in the matrix. And so I was wondering if I got 2 questions. So if you could explain what you think the glitch in the matrix is. And the other question would be, are we in our own hell timeline? And do we have the ability to actually see our positive timeline, like where we could be going as we're ascending?
So the glitch in the matrix thing, I don't know if I can explain it for common people. I'd have to go into quantum physics for you. So I don't know.
Well, just the bare bones of it. And if you want to go in deeper, we would probably love to see you do a show with David on it. But just like for now, like a bare idea of what you think or know the matrix is.
Yeah, so in certain areas you have an overlay that the deep state's already done, like Bluebeam, where the illusion we're living in is overlaid by another illusion. The illusion we're living in is God's illusion. It's the mind of God, which is actually an illusion. That's why Einstein said, we live in illusion, although be it a persistent one. So that's the projection of God's mind that we live in, and then they've overlaid it with a holographic kind of thing. And every once in a while, because it's fairly new, it would freeze out. It would the system would have a freeze in the data transfer, so to speak. So that's that. And then your other question was, what was it again?
The other question was, and you kind of answered it. So basically, you just said you've got the Yahweh version that we're looking at, and then they've overlaid that. So my thought was, are like the stuff that I'm seeing, I feel like I'm seeing a hell version, my own personal hell, and like I've been manifesting certain things, and I'm just kind of thinking, is there another timeline that, like, are we capable of seeing the other timeline?
There's
Like a
only,
positive version?
there's only two timelines. If you're living in the Armageddon timeline somewhat, you need to change your focus. Yeah, that's
Okay.
a focus. We're living on the golden timeline in which all these tribunals are going, the technology coming out, the Epstein stuff's coming out, the disclosures coming out. Um, yeah, you're being revealed all the stuff that's been here forever, all this sacrifice. Now they've admitted that Congress to Senate, and they don't even know what to say. You ask them, I don't have a comment because I don't know what to say about it. That they sacrifice children to Baal and Moloch. That's now out there. So it's always been here. Just the average people didn't know about it. It's just, that is on the other line. It's already, they're in charge. They're not on the run. They're in charge. You're already looking at severe nuclear war in lots of places, nuclear tactical nukes going off, all kinds of stuff. And you're not looking at Venezuela falling, Iran falling, Cuba falling. None of that's happening.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, I think that kind of answered it.
All right. All right, let's get to Wendy.
All right.
Ooh, one of the well, it's all right. Go ahead, knock out the question. We'll deal with it.
Okay. Hi, Jean. Hi, Nino. Thanks for having us here.
Wendy, you have two pictures up, so you're bouncing off yourselves. One's either your phone and one is something else.
Yeah,
I know, but we could deal with it. It's all good. Go ahead, Wendy. Just knock out the question.
Okay. When do you think, or do you think we are going to find out about all the people that we think are really dead and are alive, and all the people that are alive that we think are alive that are actually dead?
Yeah, this is one thing I do on my channel is I say what kind of questions I don't answer. When is one of them. Medical is another one. So the when of anything, nobody can tell you that, because the game is a reactionary, responsive game. The movie we're watching, The War, The Storm, is a response to the deep state's moves. So it depends on what move and what counter move, and then that leads in, and it's like playing chess. The amount of moves go up exponentially up as you go fourth move, fifth move, and nobody knows when anything's going to happen. It's within a certain close in, but when you get further out, and that's further out, it's hard to say. But I would say probably before Trump leaves, we'll probably start to see. We're already seeing some. You've got Bolton and Comey, and Brennan will probably be coming soon. But Obama and that stuff, and a lot have already happened that people don't know. They're just gone, like the Rothschilds. They're gone. So and of course Maduro and Netanyahu and Xi and Putin, they're gone and replaced. So
Right.
when that happens, comes out, yeah, that's Yeah, and then you've got a lot of people like Charlie Kirk and John F. K. Jr. and all that that people thought are gone that aren't gone. So for all that, you're talking, you know, probably Trump's next term in 2028 to 2032.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
I feel like I just took some acid. All right, let's get to I think it's Eyes of an Angel. Isn't that who you are? Or
Yeah, that's me. It's my new computer. I don't have all my stuff on yet. Gene, thank you for staying in the red pill every time I see you. I never see you bouncing back to the blue pill, back to the red pill. You're consistent with what your perspectives are, and I really appreciate that because it drives me crazy. So I have a question. With all the technology that you understand and know about, and different species and different things that are so far in advance, is it possible that we are actually in the section of the Bible where it is the little season, and Satan's time was that he hid everything from the 1,000 years of peace, all the technology, he put like you said, a illusion over it. And once this war, the spiritual war of good and evil, has come to its crescendo and God's people are awake, then all the species and all the animals and everybody that comes back, we all live together at peace for the rest of our existence of eternity with Jesus on earth. Is that what's happening here?
Somewhat like that. Not exactly like that, but somewhat like that. Um, yeah, I'll just leave it there. I'm sorry, I can't.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
I have one other thing. I just wanted to mention something that is so amazing. I have lots of dreams and visions,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw I saw something in a vision to look up where Tesla actually died, or they say he died, although we're now told that he was in protective custody. But his
No.
room number at the hotel he was at was 3327. And
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that, I heard in my head to look it up. And when that happens, I usually go right to the Q post, and I just want people to understand how intentional the Q movement is, even to where it tells us 2028 is when really Hillary will be arrested. So Q post 3327 says, tuned soon to be a household name, Tesla. So I just think that's pretty fabulous that they knew so far back what his room number was to make sure that Q post of his room number would indicate that it related back to him. So I mean, that to me is just absolutely, that's God in the numbers. And then the other thing is, we listen to Bo Pony quite a bit, and he says that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to die. Like, he gave numbers that were crazy. My question is, because I had a vision on this, when we change the frequency that you guys were all just talking about, I was told that's Satan's frequency. When that frequency is shut off, millions of clones are just going to drop to their ground.
Okay, so let me interrupt you and go off on all the things you said now.
Go ahead.
Tesla wasn't taken into protective custody. Tesla, what was left behind was a ghost. Tesla
Okay.
jumped to another timeline. He went into the past, met Ingersoll Lockwood, read the adventures of Baron von Trump.
I have.
Yep. And he told him to make sure his parents sent him to the US. Then he went into another timeline and jumped, which is this timeline. That's a Tesla. Our Tesla moved from timeline to timeline, and he became into a child that's known as Edward Snowden.
Wow, that I never heard. Okay.
Yep. And another child known as Baron von Trump.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's why Snowden is such a genius, because he is, and he squirreled away all this technology and all this other stuff so that the deep state would be taken down.
Yeah,
And
Kim Clement tells us another Snowden will arise.
yeah, so
And
the
then as far as Satan's frequency shutting off and all the clones dying,
the clones are being killed. There's clone
okay.
hunters right now, masses of special forces clone hunters going all over the world, killing clones of the deep state that are playing good people. So the white hats got the deep state bad people being played. So you got Hillary was arrested and executed way back in Trump's first term.
Right, but the Q tells us that we'll actually see it in 2028.
Well, that means the execution and the tribunal.
Right. We'll truly see the second coming of it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I have to say all about those things.
Thank you. I appreciate your service.
You're welcome. Thank you, dear.
Bye.
Next person, please.
Jean, I have a question regarding Epstein and eugenics.
Yes.
It is said that almost more important to them, meaning the globalists, that than trafficking children for sex was trafficking children to be used for eugenics. And is that true?
They were trafficked for many, 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 many things. Once they did the SE thing, they usually sacrifice them to Baal and Moloch. They also use for adrenochrome, chromochrome.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Eugenics, designer baby stuff, all kinds of things.
Did they do alien hybrid genetics with children?
I don't know on that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, thank you.
Amy,
So-
meth.
Yeah,
Meth.
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 Meth man. So I was born and raised an evangelical Christian and all that that implies. And I'm really trying to understand where I've been misled. And so is there some way you can tell us how we can reconcile, Jesus Christ and he came and died for our sins with what's going on? I get really upset about, some of the stuff, and I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just having a hard time reconciling it. What do I need to leave behind? What do I need to do to move forward in this
Okay.
paradigm?
I know you got a lot of devout Christians here, Nina. So I'm going to make a statement people might not like a lot.
All right.
There's two things you can absolutely rely on. Christ lived, died on the cross, and he died for you to be able to go into the higher heavens. Okay? That is fact, because I was there. I was there. I watched him. I watched it happen.
All right, you're going to lose everybody with that one, bud.
No, I want to understand that.
I've gone all over the world and found things that I had from past lifetimes that were buried, like a temple in Japan. The tree I planted as a samurai that's now massive I cut my kanji in it with my katana. A tunnel from the library to the bordello in Ephesus that no one knew about. They knew it existed. They didn't know. I showed them where it was. So it's not something I believe in. I absolutely know. So the fact that Christ, what is represented in the Bible, is correct. And there's one God, one, that is everything, created everything, including you, and is you, and is within you. There's no out there. It's all within you. That's why it says, look for God within. What you believe is out there is a projection of your consciousness on the screen of your mind. And it's not real. It's an illusion. And it's all the mind of God. And so a lot of the Bible has been tampered with. A massive amount is missing. The books of Map and Keys, Sarah, Enoch, that were purposely taken out because, like Enoch's, loaded with non-terrestrial stuff, maps and keys of how to ascend and how to do about the DNA and the 64 genetic strands we initially had, and how we're the gatekeepers for the universe and all of this stuff, and where the stargates on Earth are, and what ones we're supposed, each of the tribes is supposed to be protecting. So, like the Vikings is one tribe, and they were protecting what they told you about the Vikings, murderous and all that. Not true. They were protecting the gates in those areas, and the different Native American groups they came in and wiped out because they're taking over stargates in the American continents and relocating those tribes because they don't want them because in that area because they have the genetics to access those gates and they want to access, and that's why they intermarry. So you can't think that they would not tamper with it when it's the foundational thing. So the good part is the major tenets of the Christian religion of compassion, love, forgiving is absolute. You're not going anywhere unless you get that done. And then that Christ lived and died and that there's one God of all creation, but a whole lot of the rest of the stuff, especially the Old Testament, not so much. But the good news is, that's the good news, because if you look at things like Islam, that's going down the tube. That is literally worshiping the dark one. And Muhammad never even existed. So you look at Hindu and a lot of those, most of that stuff is non-terrestrials, although they probably know that. But, so the thing is to rely upon is get yourself clean, compassionate, kind, forgive everybody, no matter how hard that is, and bless them. Because in the end, it's all God, and you're part of God, of the Holy Spirit, and it's part of you. So you're not forgiving you. You chose those things. I know it sounds insane when you have somebody that stabbed you in the back, because it's a lesson for you to go to the higher heavens and to process yourself and not hold on to things. And what was the lesson they were teaching me and all of these things? I know it's hard. I've been stabbed in the back beyond comprehension in this lifetime, one of the worst ones. But to let it all go and forgive them and bless them, because you're blessing yourself. It's when I met an Ishmaeli, he said, you must be Ishmaeli. I said, I'm not. And he said, because we have a saying that to harm one man is to harm yourself, because we're all part of God. So
Can I just say something here? I'm going to log off. But yeah, I remember when I was in Chichen Itza, the Mayans, when I spent the night on the pyramid, which was completely illegal, they told me the way they greeted you is, hello, I am another you.
oh wow, thank you for sharing that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the I am another you. That's how they greet each other. Hello, I am another you.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. And anyway, guys, I'm out. You take over from here, Gene, as long as you want, man, my man. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off from here. I love all of you. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna stop recording on my end, and I'll just leave this up, okay? And Gene, you stop whenever you want.
Thanks, Nino.
I'll ask a quick question.
Yes.
I live next door to a 380 acres adjoining the property I live on that has been purchased by Balloonist LLC to purchase a data center. So a bunch of people in the community got it to be postponed, but now this information, if it's true about them being prisons, that's real interesting. But we have not been able to figure out who owns Balloonist LLC. Do you have any suggestions about how I might find that out?
Go and look at the property and title deeds of the sales and bill of sales and all of that, and construction permits and who's registered and all that stuff.
It's under Balloonist, but when we look up Balloonist, there's no registered agent. It's like some phantom registered agent and it's hard to know who's is it Meta? Is it what? We don't know.
Yeah. Do what?
Okay, I'll hang up.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. Okay, whoever's next.
Gene, you mentioned Charlie Kirk being alive?
Yeah.
Because I've always thought he's alive. So that's also your,
It's,
you know that?
It's almost absolute, because he did what he was supposed to do, is reveal Israel. So this thing, oh, you're anti-Semitic because of this and this and this. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Zionist. It's a huge freaking difference. The correct word is Zionist, Sion. That's where they came from, the star system Sion. So he did that, and then you look at the shooter. He didn't even have a visual of him. He couldn't see him through the top of the tent. What's it kind of scope has he got? A 30-06 in the neck, blow half your neck off. He felt the chair goes through the table, a perfect size for a holographic projector, which was sitting behind him. Then they completely repaved the area immediately, and there's no phone pictures. All people had phones up showing stuff. There were military drones over the area. People were researching the hospital he was taken and the name of the shooter and all this days and weeks, especially including from Israel. The Mossad was researching him and the doctors and all of this. It's a setup.
Right.
It's a big setup. He was taken into protective custody. He did what he did. And then his wife turns out to be CIA, working at Fort Huachuca, which was one of their massive dumps, doing briefs and all of that. And her mom is into anti-gravity research and plasma, and they have their own company. And then she was into trafficking children out of Romania. I mean, oh my word. It's so obvious, it's beyond belief. So, at first I didn't want to believe that she was that and this, and you look at it, and it may turn out she's John Benet Ramsey. So, the Ramsey girl. So the look-alike is so stunning. It's mind-boggling. So, yeah, I am positive he has been sequestered away and his time is done. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. That's what I thought he's alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Gene. It's Mary again.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought Ramsey was Taylor Swift. So sorry I didn't think it was that one.
Oh no,
I thought the age thing was Taylor Swift. But my question is, and I like Taylor, I said, I have.
Let me interrupt you. They don't look alike. Yeah. Taylor Swift's a man.
Well, we don't know if Ramsey was a little boy either.
Yeah, true. Grant you that one, but
they're all twisted. So I had a vision that the Knights Templar, going back to the Vatican, basically, throwing them under the bus and betraying them, that the Knights Templar are the White Hats.
Part of them are the Dark Hats. The Knights Templar.
They were betrayed. They were betrayed. After I had the vision, I did a lot of research on the Knights Templar. They were supposed to be created to protect the Christians that went from kingdom to kingdom, and then they became so big because they were truly righteous. They thought they were working for the Vatican. That when the elite deep state realized they were getting too big, they went to the Vatican and said, you gotta destroy them. And they betrayed them. And they knew it was the Vatican who'd betrayed them. So in my vision, I was showed that all the way back then, the White Hats were the Knights Templar to regain God's kingdom on earth.
Okay, the Knights Templar and the Inquisition and all that happened because it was thought when they're coming back from the Crusades, when Jacques de Malay's ship was grabbed and all the Templars were grabbed throughout Europe within 15 minutes, which means there was 15 minutes. Okay. Means there was some kind of mass communication, was because they thought they had the crystal skull of the Carthaginians, that they got it during the killings and the raids that the Templars were going in the various whatever you want to call them crusades. They even had children crusades, but those were looting the Holy Land for the Vatican, and so they grabbed the Templars and tortured them because they wanted that crystalline skull. They have all the skulls now but two. They are exactly what you see in Lord of the Rings, the Palantiri. So you can ask them things, you can talk through them, you can intercommunicate through them, you can look at the future and the past through them, all kinds of things. So that's what happened with the Templars. And the Templars got into being, they were very holy at first. They were
Yes.
protecting the Pierre de Sion, they were the Chalice, the Spear of Destiny, the Ark of the Covenant, and they squirreled all those things away. But then part of them started getting into all the gold and all that other stuff, which they squirreled away too. So there's, as in everything on this planet has ever been, there's a dark side and a white side.
Light side. And then my last question, I had a vision that the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia.
The one that Moses had, yes, there's four.
Okay.
The one that went with Moses out of Egypt, yes, that is in Ethiopia. The man that guards it has, I think, he does it for about 20 or so years, because he starts at 18. He's trained all his life, and he dies from the radiation at around 35. So,
Yeah, I was shown Ethiopia, that Obama went to Ethiopia, Birx went to Ethiopia, Fauci went to Ethiopia, and they were saying that they were going there for other reasons, but it was really to try to find the Ark of the Covenant to destroy it, because inside of it has such evidence of God's creation that they don't want people to see.
well,
So anyway, thank you for a lot of confirmations for me tonight. I really appreciate it.
welcome. And the next one is MAR something, Marty, Mark, is it? Okay.
Matt K.
K.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
How you doing, Gene? I'm really curious to hear your answer on where you see this planet come 2030, let's say. What do you see this planet looking like as far as I know it's funny. Jobs, the economy. What can, as far as how you see things playing out from what you know, 2030, how do you see this planet running if you had a crystal ball?
I just logicking this out with the billions of robots that will look human, can even look like a shapeshift. They're made from moon sand and water from deep under the earth that is sentient, that can shape into a building, a car. And so you'll have cities that are holographic. You'll have billion robots or more. People won't need to work. You will work in things that you wouldn't want AI to be doing. Some people want to have their food grown by humans because it changes the food. When you don't have a human interaction with food and it's mass produced like what we have today, even then you're losing a lot of the energy structure of it. So it'll go back to people growing the food for those that want that, people raising the children and educating the children. Certain education you can do, just the basic formulas and those kind of things in mathematics, but education will go back to what it should be, is stimulating the imagination of the child, the thoughts of the child, the originality of the child, the gifts of the child, recognizing gifts that's never done, recognizing the uniqueness of the child. Like if my teachers had done, I'd have been in the space program. But if my teachers had done that, a lot of children have it, but I was born with it in massive amounts of abilities. But it's a good thing they did, because we don't have that. But that'll be a common thing, where if a child like me is born and they're pyrokinetic, or they're telekinetic, or they're telepathic, or they can move through time, all of which I've done. That will be groomed, and you'll have people that are experts in that will help take the child and learn with the child and help the child learn. Because in teaching anybody, it's just like in martial arts, as they get advanced, you start to learn from them. Because once you get the basics, all your basics and all your stuff down, you start to develop yourself. And a black belt just means you have the knowledge to be able to learn on your own from the art itself. So you get to the point where you're learning things from from the source. And so it'll be the same as the teachers will learn from the students will learn from the teachers, and the rate at which humanity will grow will be beyond. But of course, also, it's possible that a whole huge amount of the earth will have people on earth will have gone through 4D and 5D ascension or beyond. So there won't be, and then definitely likely that will be spreading out into the solar system, if not the galaxy, or even beyond. And then the amount of population on Earth then would be small because we would be spread out into the vastness of space, as the cue board said. Think of is there, are we alone? Think of the vastness of space, which you can't even, it's infinite. The amount of beings, species, worlds is infinite. And most people tend to think of non-terrestrials as physical. They're not all physical. If you look at a Navajo rug, there's beings that look like a Navajo rug. They have those vibrating patterns. There's methane clouds that are sentient. There's pretty much anything you want to think of that is sentient. There's sentient plants and sentient animals that are, non-terrestrial beings that come here. And so all of those things exist. So the future will be, for those that want to just live out in the country off the grid, that'll be available. For those that want to live in a city, they won't be the big mega cities, but you'll have city life. A lot of them will be holographic cities, which will be tangible. You can get in a car and drive it, and it's a hologram. And the building's a hologram. So there's a little bit for you. Thank you, Matt.
And, thank you very much, Gene.
I'll just call out. It. Yeah, I'll call out what I see. The eagle, the bald eagle.
I love listening to you, Gene. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Gene, this is Tina again. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to say this straightforward, and everybody might get a giggle about it. And I'm sure everybody's wondering, are we going to get to see public disclosure that Michelle Obama has a dick and balls?
Her daughter's not her. Oh, it's almost impossible to talk about this stuff. Their daughter, Mike and Barry, that was an actress, is already outed that had two fathers and that they were adopted, and the slips and all that. So anybody that doesn't know that or seen on Ellen DeGeneres, you know what? It's really obvious that Michael Von Robinson and Barry Soetoro. But
I saw that on social media. Malia, I think it was. Is that for real? Did she really come out and said that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I love it. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just all these people that would look at me and put their hand in my face, and we're not going to talk about that, or you're out of your mind, or
oh my gosh,
they're going to regret that, because what they're going to go through is going to be, you're going to have people go schizophrenic. There's people going to lose their mind, because I've been learning this stuff since 1990, for crying out loud. I mean, this kind of stuff, but I've been off the wall and know things were different and had knowledge of stuff that most people, to me, I thought time travel and all that stuff and Tesla's technology wasn't, everybody knew about that.
Well, it's so disgusting how they just jammed her down our throats that she was the most beautiful woman, and she was on all the magazine covers, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah, and then of course you had Johnny Carson's wife come out, and said that, oh, come on, we all know that we've had a queen in the White House for a long time, that she's a trainee.
Yeah, crazy times. Well, thank you
Jean,
so
is
much.
Barbara
Joan Rivers is what you're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
Joan Rivers.
Yeah,
Yep,
Joan
you
Rivers.
got
She
it.
was great.
I was waiting to see who would pull up the name.
Jean, is Barbara Bush a man too?
I think so. Most of the president's wives, except for Trump's, have been, a lot of them have been women.
Yeah.
That were
Men.
women have been men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of your movie stars, you go back to Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, towering over him. I know he was small, but come on, square shoulder, square jaw. It's like that's a guy. It's a guy. I mean,
Yeah,
that's why when you get,
it's been going on a long time, huh?
yeah, that's why when you get a real movie star and a real woman like Mae West, I'm like, because you got somebody you can say that's a woman, you know. Yeah, so, but it's been going on a long time, and Victoria's Secret,
Men.
man, you got it. I would wait to see if you'd pick it up.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it's this has been going on, and then it's even been the other way around, like Black Bart the pirate. That was a woman, and that boggles my mind. I mean, no, that's the captain of the ship, but on a pirate ship, and you don't get discovered with a whole bunch of men pirates at sea, and no other women but you. If they discovered you, man, oh man, you're going to have a rough voyage. A bunch of sailors at sea in the old days. Wow. Can't imagine it. I don't want to imagine it. So, yeah, I mean, our history is not at all what we've been told. So that's, what I was saying. I talked about this on Scott McKay, but you've got a reindustrialization of the world, not an industrialization. That's why Tesla was going around looking at the foundations of buildings like Notre Dame. And he was going into the basement and doing precise measurements and finding copper embedded in the foundations and and they were a free energy system. Notre Dame and a lot of the Capitol buildings of the United States, and you've got Capitol buildings out there 50 miles out, and what do you got? No motor vehicles out from the city. I mean, it's just dirt roads and horses and buggies, and and you got this huge dome Capitol building out there. Where'd that come from? And then you've got buildings that, you go in the basement. I've seen this quite a few places all over the world where you go into the basement, even sometimes 2 floors down, and there's a bricked up archway or a bricked up doorway, bricked up windows. They built what is there, tunnels in there or what? There's something up, obviously. So this is, there was a free energy system and all of this, but they couldn't meet her. And then you've got a towering billionaires coming into being suddenly, and there's no competition amongst them. The Rothschilds are the banking, the Carnegies are the steel and this, and the Rockefellers are the oil and the medical, and nobody's interfering, and they all have the money, and it all comes out of nowhere, and everybody sets up everything, and they all, I mean, and J.P. Morgan, all in the Vanderbilts, and it's too well organized. It is a scripted takeover. And so that's what that was. And so we've had a complete change in the history of the world and a complete rewrite up of our history. And that's what I want to see come out. I mean, I know all this other stuff, the aliens and all. Yeah, I've seen all that already. I've seen them, and I've been there, and I've been out there. And, okay, that's nice. And the stuff with Epstein and stuff. Yeah, I know they've been doing that, and they've been going to Bohemian Grove and doing this stuff. And I know. And I know for the average person, it's going to make them lose their mind. But the stuff I want to know is the hidden history of whatever they've been hiding. I know some of it way back because I was there, like in Rome, and Rome never went away. It just changed names, and the Khazarians moved on and changed the names of things. So anyway, I'll take one more hand up, and then I'll close in prayer.
If anybody new doesn't want to come on, let me know. Otherwise, I have 2 more questions.
Anybody else new?
Go ahead.
So just to let you know, when you said that the arrests and the indictments, I live overlooking the ocean from Santa Monica to Long Beach. And for the past 5 or 6 years, I watch helicopters in a pattern every night going from one location to the next and then coming back, picking up, going back. There's about 3 or 4 prisons in Long Beach. So when you say that, they've done a lot of this already, I'm going to agree with you 1,000%, because 3 o'clock in the morning pattern's still there. 4 o'clock, and as soon as daylight, it stops. So if I think of that many years every night having helicopters going back, that must have been a lot of arrests in California, because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So just with that in confirmation to what you said. And then to get to one last current thing, because we obviously, this world, we still have to live in it. I don't know where I'm going in 30 years from now, but right now we still live here. So I truly believe that Kim Clement had a lot of prophecy from God, and he said that the summer would take the hit so they could fall in the fall. Well, summer starts June 21st this year. What do you see happening from June 21st into the end of the year?
The fall of the Ukraine, the end of Ukraine.
Okay.
That's one thing. Likely, it's likely we'll have arrests that'll be shown. It's likely. More disclosure.
Like the Brennans and like the people that did the Russia, like start there.
Brennan, and then Fauci is in testimony right now. Is testifying. So that's already occurring. And
President Trump put out this meme, and it said the Shady Bunch, and there was about 3, 6, 9, 12 of the people that were involved in the Russia hoax. Could that be the first hit?
Yeah, and then his amicus. I forget the other term. I'm not good on the legal terms. Amicus something or other that he submitted to the Supreme Court to be able to run
an amicus brief. An amicus brief.
Yeah, amicus brief that he submitted to the Supreme Court will probably be granted, and he'll be able to run for 2028. So that's people are going to lose their mind with. And of course, it's looking like, more reveal on the Fed, possibly the Fed starting to get more likely going towards going away, possibly announcing that the income tax is gone and will go off of tariffs alone. So that's about it. I can't prognosticate too much, because I said as you get a week or two out, it becomes impossible.
Right. No, that's all good. At least we brought full circle. We were all the way out in outer space, and now we're kind of back home.
I want to interrupt here. If the income tax goes away, do you think everybody's going to get the income tax they paid returned back to them?
That's going to be later with the QFS.
So you think it's a possibility?
Oh, I think it's an absolute.
Well, ye freaking hot.
Not in the way you're thinking. You're thinking you're going to get your income tax, the amounts of money you paid into income tax back. It's not what you're going to get back.
Are we going to get part of that 50% of our ESTA QV trusts back?
No, you're going to get your straw man investment.
Which is isn't
Social Security.
So let's say you're 50 years old.
I'm 71. Let's say that.
Okay, you're 70 years old. You're worth about at a minimum $1.5 billion.
And you think that I'm actually going to have access to those funds before I die, so I can do what I want to help humanity?
Yes.
Yep.
Yay.
Hey, did you guys see the speech that Scott Bessent just did, where he basically came out and said the central bank is done and we're switching, like we're not allowing it at all?
Yes. And that's why I'm saying this.
Okay.
What we're talking about here, you have to realize that if that happens across the United States, And it'll go into the UK, it'll go into Australia because in Canada they have similar systems. But you're talking about.
I'm mainly stating that because the people that are talking to you right now, they may not have seen it. I saw it, and I already know about the straw man and the sovereign stuff and the ballroom. Trump had already said that they were going to do that for an inauguration. That tells me that July 4th is probably going to be the inauguration for him as a sovereign president. Thus, this validates what you're telling them right now. That's the only reason why I bring this up.
Yeah. So I don't know.
You mean he'll be the 19th president? Is that what you mean? Like he'll go back to the 19th president?
Yes.
That's so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So those things are coming. I can't say that they're coming this year, but it is coming. And so, anyway, I want to
Thank you, Gene.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thank you, Gene. You're amazing. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Gene, so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you, one God of all creation, for all you give us and your only begotten Son, or Savior. Thank you for everything. Thank you and protect Trump and all of the white hats and the alliance and see this done. Thank you for any of those that need healing here. Please provide the healing of your only Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody have a beautiful night.
Thank you.